chains. I buy silence from rooms, buy fear out the market, buy time from the moon. My portfolio's bilingualist, speaks and returns. Red days get baptized, come back speaking in terms. I don't flex cars, I flex leverage and breath. I turn debt into oxygen, breed profit to death. Bought a room and let it age like wine in a vault. So the truth to the masses, let them blame it on fault. I'm compounding decisions, not emotions of friends. I got exit plans older than your goals at the end. My broker don't call me, he just nods and complies. Like you buying a dip, now I'm buying the sky. On percentages of moments you felt, I show panic itself, then I cover with wealth. I don't time to collapse, I just budget for hash. Turn recessions to coupons, turn rubble to cash. They keep asking how I sleep when the screens go red. I told them money never panics, people do instead. So much money, make money, let it run, yeah. Wake up, make money, go dumb, yeah. I make money, let it run, yeah. Wake up, make money, go dumb, yeah. So much money I might buy a coastline, rename the waves after deals I closed on time. Might buy a country just to show this pride. Install a central bank that listens when I slide out. Buy a boat and move it slightly left, just to prove control is just a graph for death. Buy a season made winter come late, so my summer positions have a longer expiry date. I don't buy watches, I buy seconds in bulk. I buy patience wholesale, then retail the luck. Bought a language made of margins and fees. Now my thoughts accrue interest when I think and I breathe. I buy bad press and rebranded as noise, turned out into fuel for irresponsible joy. I buy ceilings just to raise them again. Buy the floor, let it drop, buy it cheaper, amen. I don't chase trends, I let trends chase me. Like inflation with nowhere else left to be. I'll make money, let it run, yeah. Wake up, make money, go dumb, yeah. I'll make money, let it run, yeah. Wake up, make money, go dumb, yeah. I'll make money, let it run, yeah. Wake up, make money, go dumb, yeah. I'll make money, let it run, yeah. Wake up, make money, go dumb, yeah. My tolerance trained like a muscle in pain. I deadlift drawdowns, let them tear and regain. I don't fear the fall, I got ladders in place. Every rung's a mistake that I monetize straight. Bought the playbook, rewrote footnotes in ink. Now the fine print bends every time that I blink. I buy fear futures, let them rot on the shelf, then sell courage back to them, branded as help. I don't need approval, I clear my own trades. I don't need a seat on parts of the stage. So much money, it's abstract and rude, like I paid off tomorrow just to change the man. I make money, let it run, yeah. Wake up, make money, go dumb, yeah. I make money, let it run, yeah. Wake up, make money, go dumb, yeah. I make money, let it run, yeah. Wake up, make money, go dumb, yeah. I make money, let it run, yeah. Wake up, make money, go dumb, yeah. I make money, let it run, yeah. Wake up, make money, go dumb, yeah. I make money, let it run, yeah. Wake up, make money, go dumb, yeah. Make money, let it run, yeah. Wake up, make money, go dumb, yeah. I make money, let it run, yeah. Wake up, make money, go dumb, yeah.
Oh, brother, oh, brother, oh, brother. Hello. We are back at it again, folks. It has been way too long. To all my favorite digital internet friends, I've missed you guys so much. I hope you had a great holiday season. I hope you had a great new year. In the meantime, with the craziness of recently Venezuela, and before that, I guess silver was going crazy. And before that, there were some equities that were popping up. Without me, I hope you absolutely crushed it. Really made that holiday season profitable. And with that in mind, it's time for a whole new week. It's time for a whole new month. It's time for a whole new quarter. It's time for a whole new year. Folks, we are back at it again with the Matt Kohrs show. And to you, the Goonie community, I am so happy you are here. So from the onset, couple important things I need to say. And even though the details will be coming out, I just want you guys to know that the team and I, the people in the background and myself, have a lot of big plans in store. So over the next couple weeks, over the next couple months, don't be surprised in the slightest if we just have some of the coolest announcements that I'm very, very excited to explain to all of you. So yes, even though it's going to be the same, as in we're going to have the Matt Kohrs show and we're going to have the live show, we're going to have the daily updates, we're going to be adding to that in terms of content, and then also in terms of really the Goonie community and trading together. We have so many things coming your way. So as the time is appropriate, I will be explaining all of that and bringing that to all of you. Obviously with today, I don't want to spend too much time because granted we have about 24 minutes till the market gets open, and I am expecting a fair amount of chaos and volatility and chaos. Just chaos and chaos. That's crazy. Apparently I am out of practice here. Matt needs a haircut. You need a haircut. Anyway, I want to kind of get to the markets because I'm expecting quite a bit to go down today and really throughout this entire week, because over the past 2 to 2.5 weeks, not really much has been going on the macroeconomic front. But with that being said, there's been craziness in the market as it relates to silver. I'm sure some of you guys saw that ripping to a new all-time high and just kept going and going and going. And in fact, this morning it's up even higher. Same thing with gold. And then that led into the US basically just straight up capturing the president of Venezuela and Maduro. So we have to talk about what's going on in the world of oil. We have to talk about what's going on in the world of iron. We have to talk about what's going on in the world of Bitcoin, because you might not know it. Yeah, Venezuela, well known to have a bunch of oil. Did you know they have a bunch of iron? Did you know they have a bunch of Bitcoin? So we want to talk a little bit about that. And then, of course, we have to get into seasonality to prep you guys for the month and for the week. And we also have all these major macroeconomic events going down this week because it is the first full week of a brand new calendar month, which means we're getting a bunch of ISM numbers, a bunch of S&P global numbers, the JOLTS job openings. We're going to be getting the initial jobless claims. We're going to be getting the unemployment report this Friday. So we have a lot going down. So of course, the other stuff I will be, I guess maybe if things calm down post 10:30, something like that, we can get into some of the other stuff. But for right now, obviously, without further ado, I should get you guys a little bit prepped up for really what today's action is. And then obviously, as we have some time a little bit later, we can get into some of those other nitty gritty details. So I hope you guys had a great holiday season. I hope you found a little bit of rest, a little bit of relaxation. I hope you got to spend some time with family and friends and did everything you need to. But we are about to hit the ground running, and I'm so honored and privileged that you guys are here. Thank you, thank you, thank you. Let's make 2026 the best one yet. And on that note, here's how things are looking. Stock futures rise after U.S. ousts Venezuela, Maduro, Chevron, and energy stocks lead gains. So right now, in terms of the overall market, we dipped a little bit into the end of December, into the end of 2025. And then to kick off January, a little bit of a red day. I know people panicked a little bit when we were at the extreme, but we ended up bouncing back. From a technical perspective, I do want to let you know that we have this upside gap fill at 6921. And then, of course, the all-time high is 6945. Now, early this morning, we are looking good. Right now, SPY is green in pre-market. The Qs are green in pre-market. Bitcoin is up quite a bit. It's trading just below 93,000. And then I'm going to be touching on this, as many of you might understand the connection. Palantir, obviously directly related to being a defense contractor, similar to like Lockheed Martin, Boeing. Right now up 3.66% in pre-market trading. So yes, a lot to talk about. But first, just to add some guardrails to this conversation, I want to talk about seasonality. January, it does slightly favor the bulls. If you look at the last 20 years worth of information, the first half of January favors the bulls. The second half is a bit more neutral. And then February, it's kind of the same structure, just a little bit more extreme. If you look at the last 5 years worth of information, as you can see, yes, it has favored the bulls. The last 3 years, it's actually even more bullish. Once again, this is the monthly view. If we switch it over to the weekly view, you can see right here on the past 3 years, bullish, bullish, bullish. 5 years, it's a little choppy at first, and then it becomes becomes bullish. So I just wanted to give you an idea of the seasonality. Remember, it's not the end all be all, but as I like to say, it gives you an idea of the headwinds and the tailwinds that you might want to consider, at least in your trades. Also, for this particular week, as I have already said, 14 times already, we have a lot of major macroeconomic events, and it all starts today at 10 a.m. So 30 minutes into the trading day, we're going to be getting the manufacturing PMI and prices number. Pretty important, pretty impactful. Not the most impactful, but yes, pay attention at 10 a.m. Then tomorrow, we're going to be getting some more services PMI numbers. That's 15 minutes into the day. And then the real party gets rocking on Wednesday, where at 10 a.m., yes, we're getting non-manufacturing PMI and prices. Before that, we're getting the ADP non-farm employment. After that, we're getting the JOLTS job openings. Thursday, the normal initial jobless claims. And then on Friday, it's the first Friday of a brand new month that's considered not to be the holiday season. And we are getting the average hourly earnings, the non-farm payrolls, and the unemployment rate. Very, very important, especially being like the last batch of data we're getting is kind of like, is it the delayed data? Is it the partial data? So this is the first clean one that we've had in a while. And obviously this is going to be the major jobs update before the end of January FOMC meeting, where don't forget the big question of it all is, are we getting a rate cut? How many are we going to be getting this year? Who's going to be the new Fed chair? So don't forget, I know it's been a little bit of a break, but all of that stuff is still very, very, very important to consider. So with respect to seasonality on the month, yes, it does slightly favor the bulls. With respect to this individual week, yes, it slightly favors the bulls, and there's a lot of major macroeconomic events. But the most important thing going on right now in terms of what's trending, what's the big news, is right here. President Trump, Saturday morning, 1 a.m. Eastern, sent I believe a Delta Force team, and please correct me if I'm wrong on that, down to Venezuela and captured their president. A dangerous president. World leaders react to the U.S. attack on Venezuela. In my humble opinion, I know half of you are going to agree with this, and I know half of you are going to disagree with this. This particular story is being viewed through the lens of, do you like the person who did it or not? I believe I've seen this. There are many, many people right now in the United States who hate that Trump did this. I strongly believe those exact same people, had Biden done this, had the Biden administration done this, they would be supporting it. They're like, great, this world needs to get rid of the dictators. But they dislike it because they dislike Trump. Now, on the other side, it's the same thing. Trump did it, and I think there's a lot of Trump supporters who are happy that he did it. And then if Biden did it, they'd be like, why is he getting us into another war? So I believe that this particular story is very much being viewed through the lens of, do you like the person who pulled it off or not? Now, taking that away, if we didn't, let's just say in a hypothetical, theoretical world that we didn't know who did it, if you ask me, taking out a dictator who had done a lot of clear atrocities, I think it's a net win. And obviously, as a person who's not Venezuelan, you might not have known that from my Mayo-esque complexion. I look to the people on the ground, and right now you can find endless videos and clips and live streams and pieces of journalism and radio. It just goes on and on and on of the people of Venezuela being absolutely excited, ecstatic. They feel as if a giant weight has been lifted off of their throat. The people of Venezuela are partying. They are exciting. They are having various parades. So in terms of, was this good or bad? Well, I guess that kind of gets philosophical of morality, this, that, the other thing. But I look to the people on the ground who are directly impacted, and the fact that they are literally cheering, tells me that this was probably a good thing, tells me that the Maduro guy was probably a legitimately bad guy. And then from there, as you can imagine, there was a bunch of memes, a bunch of just the internet doing the internet. Maduro on board the USS Iwo Jima, and right here, he's in this Nike outfit. And if you look at the Google Trends for this Nike outfit, it spiked. They sold out. Honestly, the biggest winner from this entire thing was the fact that Nike is now selling out of this particular outfit. You might have seen this pretty weird trend on Twitter's Grok over the past couple days, past couple weeks, where everyone's asking everyone to turn it hey, show me this person, but in a bikini, which is a little weird. But anyway, they started to do it to that. They started to compare this picture to Dr. Disrespect just because kind of the hair and the headphones, they kind of line up. So as you can imagine, they were just, I saw at one point a JRE clip of pretending to to interview him. Like I said, the internet does what the internet does best. But anyway, this is a picture of Maduro. He was not, quote unquote, taken out, as in, unalive. He was just captured. And apparently he's going to be sitting in a high max security prison here, actually in the great state of New York. So kind of crazy stories, obviously. Trump snatches Maduro, but leaves his regime in charge for now. So obviously, from a geopolitical landscape, there's a lot to talk about here, and I'm going to get into that in a second. But here, talking about stocks and the economy, yes, there's some things that we have to consider in the world of oil, specifically heavy crude oil. But you might be a little bit surprised to find out that Venezuela is the 12th largest iron deposit in the world, and they also have 600,000 Bitcoin. So right now, there's this idea of we're taking over, but then other people are starting to point out, well, who's actually going to be in control? So there's many people putting forth the logical argument of, hey, maybe the Nobel Peace Prize winner Maria should be taking over. If you guys don't know who she is, she's a civil rights activist for Venezuela, trying to basically overthrow the dictatorship that's been in control for roughly the past 25 years. A lot of people want her in control, and other people are saying, but she's not right now. And in fact, there is basically just Maduro's inner circle, especially because the military is still being led by a Maduro loyalist. Well, it looks like they might be taking over. So even though I think a lot of the people from Venezuela is like, okay, this is a good move, they want this transition, they want this handoff of power to be a little bit more reasonable, and that's something that right now is in flux. I'm in no way commenting one way or the other of it's a done deal, it's not a done deal. I'm just saying this is probably the thing that we should be paying attention to. And then from there, obviously more directly related to this show and trading and the economy, in case you didn't realize what happened, Venezuela holds the largest oil reserves in the world at 300 billion barrels. The U.S. is now running Venezuela with the largest U.S. oil companies moving in. The U.S. now controls the largest oil reserve in the world. So there's a lot of nuances to this, a lot of asterisks, a lot of caveats. So I don't know necessarily where's the best place to start this story, but please remember, not too long ago, there were a lot of major U.S. oil companies who were operating in Venezuela. In Venezuela's government's attempt to nationalize oil production, they actually just basically took over what a lot of these companies had set up. And you should also note that there's differences in oil. So this particular conversation is going to relate to the world of heavy crude oil, which it might be worthwhile to note. In the U.S., especially in the Southeast, I'm talking about Texas, Louisiana, that region, we actually happen to have a lot of refineries that are specifically outfitted for refining heavy crude oil. So as you can imagine, these companies such as, Exxon, Chevron, are kind of pretty stoked that the pendulum is swinging back in their way. So with it, in terms of oil, I would say that Canada is going to end up becoming a pretty big loser just because of how much oil we were importing from Canada. Obviously, this is not something that happens overnight. It's going to take multiple quarters, if not multiple years. But remember, we were a big importer of oil from Canada. Obviously, the trade talks with the new PM have not been going so well. So all of a sudden, that's a little iffy. And I also want to point out that one of Venezuela's biggest, where they were exporting to, was China. And it represents China's about 5% of their total imported oil. But now that we're there are going to be interesting implications there. And the final thing that we should be talking about in this conversation is, of course, Russia. Russia right now, depending on what is or isn't happening with oil and how much they do or don't control, this could basically just bankrupt their entire economy. Of course, there's other little sub-stories such as Cuba and Nicaragua, which are going to be important in terms of they kind of wanted Maduro to stay in control, but obviously on the global scale, they're kind of smaller players. So I'm not saying that the countries I've went over and listed are the entire list. Of course, there are other sub-stories, but I just kind of want to give you the very quick headline TLDR of what is some of the major news going on right now and who does it really impact. Crude prices are little changed as Maduro overthrow casts uncertainty over oil-rich Venezuela. So If we scroll down to oil, it's actually green on the day. Yes, when the markets opened last night, there was a quick flutter to the downside. It popped a little bit. Then it went from about 57 a barrel to only 56, and we're now actually popping. So maybe you're like me, and initially I was kind of surprised on this. I was like, okay, well, if we have this much more supply and what's going on, well, then you have to kind of look at what goes on downstream, and this is where it gets a little bit more interesting. You can look at natural gas. NG is the natural gas futures contract. That is where we're actually seeing it. This is what happens, of course, all prices. It's just the equilibrium of supply and demand. And when supply goes up and all of a sudden the market is front running this concept of, oh, there's more, we'll refine it. Where does it go to? So this downstreams product, NQ, the fact that natural gas is down 6%, that is a big deal. That's per contract. That's thousands and thousands of dollars. So had you went short one NQ contract, you would be having a pretty freaking good day. So I do want to point out that we are seeing some of what you might consider to be like the logical fallout from this, that NQ. I mean, here's a look at the daily. I keep saying NQ because of the NASDAQ. I mean NG, natural gas, is just going down and down and down. And I wouldn't be surprised if it's heading to about 320. So we're going to see how that one obviously plays out. Chevron, Exxon, and SLB stocks jump after Trump's military intervention in Venezuela. So these are a handful of the companies that not too long ago, what was it, 30 years ago? I guess I'm bad at the mental math this morning, that basically had a bunch of their stuff stolen as they were in Venezuela when they went through the nationalization process of their oil. So they're pretty stoked about it. So right now you could look at XLE. XLE is the ETF tracking the energy plays within the S&P 500. It closed out on Friday at 45.65, and you can see this morning it's up at 47.45. It's up about 4%. So if we come to FinViz, which is probably not going to have any colors on it quite this morning, this is probably all from Friday. You could see the energy sector, industrials, real estate, energies down here, XOM, CVX. So this, like the bottom right above my head, these are all the plays that are pretty much XLE. Once again, the ticker's XLE. It is the energy subsector of the S&P 500, obviously having a pretty good morning today. But remember, none of this lives in a vacuum. Trump's Venezuela oil revival plan is a $100 billion gamble. Maybe it works, maybe it doesn't, but here's what Bloomberg had to say. And Trump, really, if this ever plays. Come on.
We're going to have our very large United States oil companies, the biggest anywhere in the world, go in, spend billions of dollars, fix the badly broken infrastructure, the oil infrastructure, and start making money for the country.
However, there are suggestions that the US president's plan could be a long and arduous process, costing upwards of $100 billion. Well, Sally Yilmaz, senior oil analyst at Bloomberg Intelligence, joins me now with more from Dubai. Good morning to you. I wonder how willing US oil companies will actually be to rebuild Venezuelan oil infrastructure when, as we've been hearing throughout the programme, Sally, the political future is just so uncertain.
Good morning. Good question, and the answer is that we don't know yet. There hasn't really been an announcement from the likes of Exxon or Chevron. I suspect we may get an announcement in the coming weeks. But these companies would be looking for political certainty alongside operational certainty. These are big investment decisions. And the question is, could there be a directive from the White House for these companies to make these investment decisions? And it's important to remember these are private companies trying to maximize shareholder value. So they really need to have that political stability, that security, and on top of all of that, very favorable terms for them to be incentivized to even consider going into Venezuela.
Yeah, exactly. With oil prices already relatively low, surely more supply would just drive them lower. So what could that directive look like to incentivize those companies to invest in Venezuela?
Yeah, I mean, that's a good point. And, the argument we've been making is that maybe for spot prices, this is not going to change much. But when you look at the back end of the oil curve, which is where the oil companies' investment decisions are made, that's probably going to flatten a little bit. There's going to be a lot more pressure on that. And as you already mentioned, this is already a pretty soft pricing environment. And also important to remember, this is heavy oil, generally tends to have higher break-even costs.
Yeah.
So it's going to be interesting to see how these companies are incentivized. And also, very important to note, a lot of these companies, not just US oil majors, but globally, these companies have been having very cautious capex plans, and they've been prioritizing shareholder returns. So do they change strategy, or do they kind of try to reroute some of the spending that was supposed to go elsewhere to other projects into Venezuela? It's going to be very interesting to see.
All right, I'm going to pause it there. Just kind of, I wanted to share this to illustrate the point that it's not like a done deal. It's not like the U.S. is coming in with imperialism and we're taking it all over. If anything, we probably have more questions than we do have answers right now. So it's just a thing you have to be paying attention to. And remember, it doesn't just stop with the U.S. and Venezuela. We don't live in a vacuum. There is obviously ripple effects here. China's social media hails Trump's Maduro move as a Taiwan template. So right now it is a little bit shocking for us to all wake up and be like, yo, can you just go and take the president of another country? I didn't know like you could do that. So all of a sudden it's starting to bring up other political landscape issues or perhaps pitfalls. That is something you gotta just watch. Denmark in crisis mode as Trump sets sights on Greenland after Venezuela attack. U.S. President Donald Trump, who has long advocated for control over Greenland, has reiterated his interest in taking over the mineral-rich Arctic territory. We need Greenland from the standpoint of national security. As much as that might sound like a joke, it is actually not a joke. It has to deal with the waterways in which China and Russia are right now kind of dominant, and in terms of national security, it's where we have some defensive bases and whatnot, but it really is very important for not only warship routes, but also shipping routes right there, obviously off to the east of Greenland. So it might sound like a joke, like ha ha ha, national security of Greenland. It's actually incredibly important. So before you laugh it off, you might actually want to do like a little bit of like research into it. The leaders of Denmark and why Denmark currently owns Greenland, and Greenland condemned the comments, while an analyst at Denmark is now in full crisis mode over the issue. It's kind of one of those things that I get it. I saw a lot of people who are starting to say this is like an international police issue and blah, blah, blah. Folks, we are the international police. This is what happens. The U.S., you might think this is wrong or right, but in terms of the fact that we are paying for the world to be the world, this is what happens. When you might think that we step out of bounds, this or that, at the end of the day, like when you're the biggest dog in the pen, you kind of do what you want. Now, I'm not necessarily saying it's always appropriate or inappropriate, but if this particular storyline is shocking to you of like, oh my God, what did the U.S. do? Folks, literally every single president has done this. The most recent administration, if you look at Biden, do you know how many ISIS leaders we were just kind of bebopping around in the Middle East and taking out? Done deal, no questions asked, no one cared about it. Before that, Bin Laden, Gaddafi, the war in Libya. Like, folks, this, I'm not saying it's good or bad, but I'm saying this is what the U.S. does. So if you think this is like somehow new and no president has ever done with this before, oh my God, like this is such a reach of power. Literally every president in like recent history has pulled something off like this. And it's just in this particular world of social media and mainstream media, this one's getting particularly spun up. And I would actually take the argument that in this one, in this particular circumstance, the president didn't die. We just captured him. In all those other examples I like cited to you, we actually just took the dude out and moved on with our day. So I just want to throw that out there. And obviously in the context of what's going on, obviously with crude oil, specifically heavy crude oil, and my prediction that Canadian oil is going to take some sort of a hit. Obviously, energy companies are up. We're seeing natural gas take a hit. We're seeing volatility in the overall equities market rise. VIX is up this morning. If you look at what's going on with silver, if you look at what's going on gold, those are all up this morning. Beyond just like a shift in the political landscape, there's obviously a lot of implications here. Now, if you haven't already, sign up for the newsletter. A lot of great stuff, breakdown of the market, all the major macroeconomic events, and all this seasonality for each individual trading day. It's in the description of the video. My mod will put it in chat, but once again, is 100% free to all of you. And on that particular note, let's get rocking. Dingity ding ding ding. The world's largest casino is open for the first major trading day of 2026. Best of luck to all. Play responsibly, and if not, have fun. All right, we already took out the high of SPY from Friday, which means statistically, right here, if we come to SPX, which I could show you better over here, we're already at 6,900, very important level. But the fact that we've already taken out the high from Friday means that there's a 77% chance that we close somewhere above the closing value, which is 6,858. So once again, this is the stat that you need to know. The fact that we've taken out the previous trading day's high right here, we took it out at 6894.87. The fact that we took that out means that there's a 78% chance that we close somewhere above 6858.48, which once again is the closing value from Friday. So already seeing some strong action in pre-market. Of course, I will be showing you the options flow and whatnot. Let me reload that. Let me get this going. Key level of the day is actually literally where we're at right now. So we're at 6,900, key technical level, key psychological level. And you can see here, it is actually the biggest gamma level of the day. It's a negative gamma node, but the biggest gamma level. So from a 0 DTE perspective, or really from an entire option chain perspective, this is going to be the most influential node of the day. Once again, perfectly aligning with the key technical and psychological level, also becoming a key options level. So for many reasons, I would argue today is kind of just the battle of 6,900. Do we get above and hold above? Right now we're testing. Do we get up there and then just maybe fail? I don't know. Your guess is as good as mine, but I can tell you from like a measurable bet standpoint, these are all the big money bets. That's how you get onto this board. 6,900, clearly important, and more specifically, it is a bullish bet. It's a lot of long calls. So people were betting at some time before today that we would be getting up and above here. It's about the net impact is 2.3 thousand contracts, which is sizable. And then we have some 2.8 thousand sold at 69.50. So this is a bit of positive gamma, which remember, negative gamma is slippery price action. These are like clear bets, long calls, long puts, while positive gamma is a little bit more of sticky price action. And that's more of like you're selling your calls and you're selling your puts, obviously, to create the position. So out of the gate, I can already tell you we're at this key level. This is very important. It is the high from Friday. It's pretty much the high from Thursday, and it's a key technical, psychological, and options level. This is going to be the first major battle of the day. Remember, my personal opinion of the market, especially for active day traders, has nothing to do with predicting, do we break out and run or do we get smacked and fall? It's more of just react. It's just literally appropriately react. Mark out the key levels, pay attention to the flow. Mag 7 starting to pop to the upside. SPY's not really doing much of anything. And it's honestly just a game of reaction. It's not a game of prediction. I know many of you come in here and like, what do I think about this? What do I think about that? And I'm happy to give you my thoughts, but remember, the best analysts in the world have a 50-50 hit rate. There's no particular prediction or analysis that is better than others. It's honestly a game of 50-50 just because there's so many unknowns in this particular situation. So because of that, accept that most of the trades you're going to do, and well, I shouldn't say most if we're going to be very specific, about 50% of the trades you're going to do are going to be losing trades. Just accept that fact. That's okay. You can be very, very profitable by being wrong half the time, because it's just a mathematical sleight of hand of, okay, when you're wrong, make it small, and when you're right, make it big. That's the name of the game. So really, if you boil this down, it boils down to two major things. Don't try to predict the market, react to the market developments. Don't be too married to your bias. And then number two, which is probably the most important thing, to be a successful trader, it's a game of risk management. It's not a game of just phenomenal win after phenomenal win. The best traders are the best risk managers. That's what you should be focusing on, is keep your risk minimal. In my opinion, and this is just for me, and I'm not saying this is appropriate for everyone, there is ways to make money by not doing this. When I'm actively day trading, my favorite thing to do is just to set my stops to break even. As soon as I have it go a little bit in my favor, stop to break even, and it's a free play. How many times have you guys been watching the show and I'm like, cool, lottery ticket play. I'm either break even, as in no harm to me, or I'm making money. And that's the best situation, in my opinion, time and time and time again. And just to kind of prove that to you, let me switch this up right here. Oops, sorry. Here are my accounts. This is how I grew all my accounts from 50,000 up to about 83. So I have about a $33,000 profit per account, which I guess you could do the math, 15 times whatever 33 is. It's probably $500,000. I'm also trying some FFN accounts, and then I also have some brand new Apex accounts, literally brand new. They're at 50,000. I haven't made any trades. There's nothing going on there. But in terms of how was I able to grow this, it's just that concept. I mean, my hit rate's around 55%, folks. You don't really need to do anything that magical. I think sometimes, especially when you're new to the world of trading, it can almost seem daunting because maybe there's so many people telling you oh, you gotta, it's almost the downside of social media where you see all these people making all this money all the time and they seemingly never take a misstep. It's just how is every single trade green? It doesn't make sense. And the reason it looks like that is because it's just smoke and mirrors. No one is that good at trading. Yeah, maybe over the long term, you can be consistently net profitable, but to be thinking that you're going to be making money on every single trade, it is literally just, the market is not distributed that way. Price action is not distributed that way. So if you're now reviewing your trades in 2025 and maybe they're red, maybe not as green as you want, I don't think that there's much harm or foul to attempt the trading mindset or framework that I am pitching to you, except the fact that it's probably going to be 50-50 hit rate. The goal here is to keep your risk as minimal as you can and to keep your profits as large as you can. So unmute me. You're not muted. I can read your comment and everyone can read your comment. So that by that fact, it means you're not muted. But a very weird, selfish view of it, I suppose. When was the last time every country got out and celebrated an American president? Been a while until Trump freed Venezuela. Yeah, dude, I mean, you might have your own thoughts here as an American, but people in Venezuela, they have not stopped partying. They have not stopped parading. They are very, very happy that Maduro is out because he basically ran the country into the ground. This is you get what you get. Horrible. This is what socialism leads to. It's just, there's no particular use case or example that we can cite historically of socialism, communism working out. It just leads to people in the net situation being more poor, having less access to healthcare, to housing, generally energy. It does not work. It simply does not work. I will honor CJ at all costs. Who is CJ? Rumble crowd thinks y'all are goofballs. I'm sure the YouTube crowd thinks Rumble's a bunch of goofballs. That's why the kids couldn't play nicely, so we had to put them into two different chats. Happy New Year, Matt. What video best shows your trading strategy? I can't always watch live. If you go to my Evergreen channel, so this is the Matt Kohrs show. If you just go to Matt Kohrs, there's a lot of great explainer videos in here. This simple strategy, how I made money. So this is not the stream channel. This is the extra channel. And in here, it's a lot of explanation of what sim-to-funded trading is and how to play with the rules and the rule explanation. But on top of that, I do some just how to do AI trading, how to do systematic trading. That's this series right here. And then really what I do, my personal trading strategy right now is a system called Icarus, and Icarus is fully built out to be a fully automated system, and I'm running it over here on this monitor. And basically, whenever Icarus fires long or short, I get a marker on my chart. And then the only thing that isn't automated is actually the entry and the exit, like me manually hitting buy or sell, because sometimes it fires a little bit too much and I don't necessarily want to take every single signal. So I guess in a nutshell, that's what my trading system is. It's something that I built 100% myself. Actually, well, I use ChatGPT to help me. But some of it's explained in here. But once again, it's a strategy that fits my personality and my style and like how I view the market. And that doesn't necessarily mean it's for everyone. Obviously, there's a certain about like the psychology of trading that I very much believe to be a successful trader. You have to be trading a system that like kind of fits your personality, it fits your style, it fits how you view the market. But no matter what that is, I promise you, it's going to end up boiling down to good risk management. There is no trader in this world who is net profitable over the long run that doesn't put that at the top of their list. Like every single good trader, it doesn't matter if you're a long-term investor, a medium-term swing trader, a day trader in futures, trading 0 DTE options, it doesn't matter. The one thing that all of these successful, continually profitable people have in common is superior risk management. If you have good risk management, no matter what type of trading you're doing, you're going to be good. That's what you have to do. This big dog is limping on 3 legs, riddled with fleas, rot, and teeth, yet still yapping loudly at shadows cannot chase. Just a neutral observation from this. What are you talking about? What does that even mean? Can someone translate that for me? This big dog is limping on 3 legs, riddled with fleas, rot, and teeth, still yapping loudly at shadows that cannot chase. Just a neutral observation from a small... Dude. What? Are you still hitting the eggnog a little bit hard, brother? Are you, I guess you're not doing dry January. Holy cow. What in the world are you attempting to say? For the longest time in here, I know I was one of the biggest people pitching this concept of like the US education system has started to fall apart. And obviously we're starting to realize why with all these Somalian daycare centers who are not teaching anything. But day over day, I'm just reminded that people can not like talk. Like they don't just the ability to communicate in a lucid manner has just disappeared. And I don't know if our guy is doing wet January, like literally the opposite of dry January. I don't know if he just didn't pass 3rd grade. I don't know what it is, but it's kind of sad to see. Bitcoin is having a good opening. 936 till now. Bitcoin going from 92,400 up about $700. Look at that. Bitcoin taking off. The SPY popped, pulled back, potentially putting in a higher low. The battle is a very evident one here on SPX of just, are we getting above and holding above 6,900? Like, what are we doing? A little bit of a flag breakout. Like, I guess if you traded this, I wouldn't be hating on you too much. Honestly, it still might work. But right here, we did have these lower highs started to break. You could be playing this break at 6,900. Your risk is either the 941 low, the 936 low. Honestly, from a risk reward perspective, I don't think that's the worst thing in the world I've ever seen. What's the flow? Mag 7's looking decent. Mag 7 is looking decent. What are we seeing? What in tarnation? Well, what in tarnation? SPY, it's attempting to get this breakout of 6,900. Very important level for the day. Is the market going to accept it or not is the real question. He's saying that you're full of shit, but try to sound intelligent. I don't try to sound intelligent. I just know I'm not. So take that with a grain of salt, brother. You were saying the U.S. is the big dog and does pretty much what it wants. Oh, you're talking about the United States? It definitively is. Like, who is even close to becoming like as powerful as we are? We run the show. Now, does that mean that we are absolutely perfect and make all the right decisions and are like literally that, I don't know, Batman signal beacon of perfection? No, very evidently not. And that's not what I'm saying. But remember, this is a game of, I guess, a relative comparison. And the U.S., as a relative comparison to everyone else, we fucking crush it, dude. We absolutely crush it. Oh. Freebie play. I am long at 25,605. And I don't know, maybe it's going to get knocked. It might just get double topped here at 30. But if there's a breakout and a push up to 60, I'd love it. I'd love it. So we'll see how this one goes. But once again, I just want to clarify, my stop's at break even. This is a free trade. I am long at 25,605.25. My stop's at 605.5. So that pays for commissions and whatnot. So I am in a trade. I'm long on this trade. You guys can see this, right? Okay, cool. Obviously, what did I do? This trade was, I literally called it out. I was like, oh, look here's a breakout. Maybe we break. The risk is the recent low. What did I do? My risk was even higher at first. I could have been risking 60 or 38, but in all reality, I just didn't want to risk that. So my risk initially was 85, and then I moved it up 20 points to be break even. And now maybe I'm lucky, maybe I'm not. Maybe it's a 50-50 game. It looks like it's really struggling here at 30. Looks like it might be knocking me out. I wish I had a bit of a better entry at 600 flat, just because I'm assuming there's people defending 600 flat right here on Bookmap, but I don't know. Maybe it's my lucky day. Maybe it's not, but you really can't get that unlucky if your stop's at break even. And I know a lot of people don't want to trade this way because you don't want to be in a trade where you're up money and then all of a sudden it like comes back and it hits you. But like, it's protection. Like, this is okay. I might get knocked out. Fuck, I got really close to getting knocked out. But here's how it goes. One of two situations. I'm either knocked out for break even and it is literally no sweat off my back, or it runs in my favor and I make money. So the worst situation is neutral. The best situation is, oh, cool, I made money. So for me, maybe it goes, maybe it doesn't. I'm noticing that it is struggling at 30 here, which I suppose isn't much of a surprise because I do see these sellers. Is it about to knock me? 600 is just such an important level. Yeah, it just knocked me out for break even. Right there, break even. So I gave it a shot. Honestly, if this turns back around, I might get involved again. It was a little bit chasey. Like, I would have liked 600 better. Honestly, it like obviously would have knocked it out anyway. Even had I gotten that better fill at 600. Once again, just to clarify, I would be out at break even. So it would have been the same result. I just think tactically, I could have waited for this fill here. Do I want to take another stab at it? I could still risk 85. I could risk 88. What do I want to do? What time is it? It is 9:48. I know that there's some ISM numbers coming out. That's technically a higher low. Let's see. Mag 7 is looking strong. S&P 500 is also looking strong. We're here. Basically, we got this fake out break of 6,900 and we got knocked down. So maybe I'll just attempt to be patient and wait to see if any buyers step in, because we've seen these fake out before. Like right here, had I showed you this, no one in here can definitively say, oh, we're breaking and running or we're breaking and getting smacked. You're going to have about a 50-50 accuracy rate on this prediction. If I just show you this chart right here, we popped, we pulled back, higher low, up, we're going again. I can find you many examples historically where this breaks and rips and goes all the way up to the next level, or I can find many examples like what we're seeing right now where we break and we actually just get smacked. Okay, it happens. And guess what? That's why I protect. So why did I protect myself? Because right now I was long at what, 605. I would be down by 35 points. I'd be down by $700. This is why you protect it. So no matter how confident you are in it, understand that there's no such way in which you could have 100% confidence. And right here, this is a very good illustration of it. I like that trade. I like the setup. The EMAs flipped. We recaptured the midpoint on the trading session. We seem to be breaking out of 6,900. Cool. Like, I get to ride it, and then maybe this 10 a.m. announcement is good. So as much as I liked it, as much as I was confident because the momentum was all bullish, great, bullish, great. Okay, I'm looking at options flow. It's all looking bullish. But even with that in mind, you have to protect yourself. You have to protect yourself. You have to, because sometimes things like this happen. And granted, it's now bouncing back and I probably could have been close to break even, but did I really want to sweat that? Like, there are those chances where you sweat it and then instead of it coming back in your favor, it just keeps going and then you're absolutely screwed. So instead of going through this wild ride where I would be down by, I don't know, like 100 points, I'm just break even. I protected myself. Completely acceptable, completely okay. Completely acceptable, completely okay. And it looks like the market is really chopping along waiting for this 10 a.m. data. So we're getting the ISM manufacturing PMI and prices. So manufacturing numbers are coming out at 10 a.m. So at this point, honestly, what I was hoping on this long that I took here at 944, I was hoping it would pop up to 50 or 60 before the announcement. I could lock it in and be done for the day. That's kind of what I was like hoping for. But remember, being hopeful doesn't really get you anywhere in the market. So right now, the push, it failed. We double topped there at 30. And in reality, what really happened was we started to see a bit of selling on this secondary test of 6,900. So the market just didn't accept it. It happens, and protect yourself for that. As much as you can be hopeful, yeah, like hope for the best, but prepare for the worst. And that particular mantra is literally, in my opinion, the best way to approach the market. So my preparation for the worst was stop to break even. It was a free try. I took a stab at it. Just didn't work, but that's okay. But if I do that time and time again, break even, I only need one of them to work for me to be net profitable. I lock in my profit for the day, and then I move on with my life. I think there's a lot of people, a lot of traders, especially newer traders, who are putting pressure on themselves that they need like every trade to work. They're like, nope, I studied these videos. I watched this. I drew my trend lines. I watched option flow. I saw this random guy talk about stupid shit like a fair value gap. And like, it's got to work because I spent time learning about it. And how could it not work? Like that type of a thing. And even with the best setup, you could have a 5 out of 5, A+, A++++ setup. And sometimes you're going to be able to find examples of it not working. And dude, we are moving with some vol today. 94.73. That's a good 50 points. I don't know if I really want to risk 50 points. I was thinking about buying this breakout right there. The most reasonable risk is 73, which that's about 1,000 points. That's about 800, not 1,000 points, $1,000, about 800 points per contract if you're wrong. And I just don't know if I want to be risking that with 7 minutes to go. With maybe if I get a pullback to 90, folks, I want to shop on discount. I want to shop on discount. I don't necessarily want to be chasing here. Another thing you could watch is this very evident trend line. Trend line rejection, I should say. Very evident. We popped right up to the trend line, got smacked, but is it going to give us a retest? Where is SPX at? SPX. Oh, brother. Oh, brother. Oh, brother. Oh, mother. Oh, brother. All right. Mag 7. SPY is starting to gear up a little bit. Oh, mother. Oh, brother. Oh, mother, oh, brother. Nope. Really did not like that trend line test. And it appears that the biggest issue right now, honestly, is 6,900. We're just having a tough time. So we kind of got this quadruple bottom, triple bottom, whatever you want to call it, off of 6,892. So we started there, popped up, pulled back to it, popped up even higher, pulled back to it, popped up again. So we're finding support, clear support, but we're also finding clear resistance. And I'm happy I didn't chase it, because I would have been chasing it at 20 and I would have already been down by 17 points. So I wouldn't have been happy with that. Not a bad idea to shop on discount. What time is it? 55. Do I want to risk? That's a nice breakout. I'm just a little worried about the time. I'm loving the structure to go long right here. I really, really am. The Mag 7 popped. It's holding. The S&P 500 stopped vomiting. It's basically getting in before the breakout. If the breakout comes, it's betting that the breakout does occur. But I guess on my return show, I don't know if I should be taking risks like that. Knowing my luck, if I don't trade this, it's going to pop at 10 due to the manufacturing numbers. And then if I do take a long, it's going to plummet. So for me, I'm not going to take the trade. I'm going to wait. I'm going to be patient here. But I want to. I want to, but I'm going to. It just doesn't feel right. It doesn't feel right. Our first show back together doing absurdly degenerate things, you know? So let's just wait. Let's just wait for the next 3 minutes to play out. Very quickly, Apex, obviously, that's many of the accounts that I'm trading with. I have 20 Apex accounts right now. You have 1 day left, 90% off. Huge deal. Start your new year on really very reasonably less expensive way. 90% off. You could take the evals for less than $20. Use that code Goonie. But once again, you have 1 day left. And then also shout out to Spot Gamma. That's this tool right here where I track what's going on with the flow. 80% off. That is pinned to the top of chat. It's in the description of the video. We are the only community that they offer the 80% off deal to. So right now, 80% off Spot Gamma, 90% off Apex. Use the code Goonie there. And on Spot Gamma, just use that link pinned to the top of chat and in the description of the video. Once again, this is Spot Gamma. It's where I track all the options flow. And then with respect to sim to funded trading, these are all my Apex accounts. I also have some FFN accounts right now. That 2 of them are funded and they're up about 3.5K. That was some trading over the holidays. And then I have some evals that I've already hit the profit target. I just need more trading days. So I'm actually not trading them because I already locked in the trading day today. I think I need 2 more. So I should be able to upgrade these on Wednesday or Thursday of this week. That's just the FFN. And then the FFNX is actually the funded account. So these are the evals. These are the funded. And then with Apex, all the ones that start with PA means funded performance. And then if it starts with just Apex as in there's no PA, that means that it's an eval. So I have 20 funded accounts on Apex, 2 funded accounts on FFN, and 3 that on FFN have passed. Well, they passed the profit target. I just need to be a bit more patient and have a couple more scalp trading days in there because I've already hit the 3K profit goal. So I'm just waiting for this 10 a.m. announcement. And do you think they're going to bring on our boy Rick? They might be bringing on our boy Rick this morning. I haven't heard Rick's beautiful melodic voice in a while, so let's see. Let's see if they're going to bring on our boy Rick. Let's see. Where's our boy Rick? The Matt I know blows accounts out with no fear. I do it, and my credit card bill doesn't like how many accounts I blow out. That's for sure. So we're going to try to dial that in this year. And we're going to see how it goes. I don't know. Sometimes I just get a little too bored with the whole thing. And I'm like, all right, fuck it. Let's just rip it. And then I rip it and it works for a day or two. And then I just severely blow things out. So, okay, we have less than 1 minute. Once again, here is the line in the sand. We're going to get some manufacturing PMI and prices That is coming out in less than 1 minute if this website ever loads. Come on. All right, you're just going to have to believe me that ISM manufacturing PMI and prices is coming out right here. PMI prices, the line in the sand is 48.3 and 59 for PMI and prices respectively, coming out shortly. I do have this audio on just in case Rick ever joins, but here, I'll put up the chart. It's coming out in about 15 seconds. So let's see. Currently, I have no day trade position on. I have a bunch of swing positions on that the Goonie Trading Discord knows all about. I don't think I've made any moves there this morning unless some profit targets have been hit. I have no idea. But here we go. 3, 2, 1. Bullish. Bullish. Is it going to hold though? So the initial reaction was a pop. Right here, you can see options popped. Mag 7, not so much, a little bit of a pop, but the SPY, a little bit more. Here's what price did, and you could see, I'll go to the 100 tick so you can like really see the insanity. All right, so here's 10 a.m. Like, we're just wicking around to the tune of 40 points. Jesus.
Welcome to Squawk on the Street. I'm Sarah Eisen with
all right, give us Rick. Give us Rick. Give us Rick.
We're all over the breaking news of the day. Ousted Venezuelan leader Nicolas Maduro due to appear in a New York court just 2 hours from now with wide-ranging implications for global markets, the energy complex, the geopolitical order. We've got a great lineup to help break it all down for you, including Rockefeller's Ruchir Sharma with a look at the market
once again
impact.
rejected
Signum
at
Global
6,900.
Advisors founder Charles Myers, who
Where's
is
Rick?
planning a trip to Venezuela
Give
with
us
business
Rick.
leaders to explore investment prospects.
All right, so we
former
popped
Trump
and
National
we're
Security
already
Advisor
back
H.R.
at
McMaster,
where we
all
started.
with us to discuss what happens
So the
next
pop
in
ain't
Venezuela
holding, and it looks like we're making a very
First,
quick
some
move
new economic data first of the
VWAP.
week. Let's get to Rick Santelli.
Yes,
Morning, Rick.
Rick's in chat.
Good morning,
Rick,
Carl. Yes,
Rick,
these are
Rick,
ISM
Rick,
manufacturing, and it's for December. Expecting a number under
does he look
50,
hotter than normal?
Around 48.5 comes in light.
Sexually, that is.
47.9. So this would be what, the 10th consecutive
this
read
guy.
under 50. Only the first 2 months of the year
This
were
guy.
above 50, and it's the lowest read since October of 24. And if we look at prices paid, unfortunately, it remains sticky. 58.5. It equals last month's 58.5, and that was the highest since the previous month, September of 25. New orders, 47.7.
Mag 7 options
That's
flow
very
is
close to
holding.
expectations, but obviously
SPX popped
in
and gave a
contraction
little bit
territory
back.
under 50.
But we're back at
47.7 will
6,900.
be the weakest, going back to, well, just last month was 47.4. So you can see it's actually the strongest since October, but we have not been above 50 since August of this year. Last year, or new year this year, right? ISM employment finally, considering that we have ADP and the big jobs report this week, comes in at 44.9, well under 50, but it is a little
Really
higher than
struggling at
last, which was
6,900.
44.0. 44.9 actually is the best since it was 46 in October. That means we now had 11 consecutive readings under 50. The only reading that was above 50 in the employment space was the very first month of the year. Interest rates, well, they're all down a little bit, but they're down from elevated areas. We've been testing the top of the range in a 10-year, which has basically been hovering around that 420. It backs away from there. We haven't closed above that since very early September. Sarah, back to you.
Okay, Rick, thank you very much. Rick Santelli. I wanted to focus on Venezuela and what's happening in the economy
Venezuela.
there. Sort of re-up the discussion with Maduro due in the New York court today. You know, it is one of the saddest cases of economic implosion in modern history. Venezuela was blessed with so many things that a country would want, right? Gorgeous beaches, very good farmland, and oil reserves sitting on the biggest in the world. And here's the chart for that one. I mean, it produces a fraction of this, as we've been talking about all day. So why, what happened there? Well, what happened was
socialism.
Communism, or democratic socialism, basically. Look at some of the more recent charts of what's happened with GDP per capita, one of the lowest in the world, which is kind of a good reflection, I think, of just compared to the United States. I mean, GDP per capita for Venezuela now under 4,000. That's even with all the migration out of the country. If you compare it to the United States, we're like 80,000, for instance. But per person.
Mag 7 options flow is holding, SPY is recovering, just tagged or tied the high of the day. We're trading at 902.
All the way to the bottom. And just to illustrate
we are
how
trying
dire
to hold
things
this
are,
900.
their inflation rate. This is what happens when you take over a central bank and you completely leave it unindependent and monetize all the debt. It's 682%, which is actually an improvement. It used to be like 300,000%. So the combined
Potential
policies
breakout right
of
here.
Hugo Chavez, early 2000s, and then Nicolas Maduro. I mean, this is what happens when government seizes the oil production facility, when they completely have a pro-fiscal policy where they spend everything when oil was high to try to nationalize and subsidize electricity and subsidize oil, and then the price collapses. It's extreme poverty. It's very sad, and it just shows you. I just wanted to sort of show you what's happened. We all look at Venezuela as a prime example of economic mismanagement.
Without a doubt. This is what communism gets you. This is what
work.
Socialism gets you.
Right.
Anyone supporting it is fucking
I was there in
stupid.
the 90s. Had a buddy who was a journalist, working journalist there, and I remember going to some government functions back when it was a democracy, so to speak.
Things were good then.
They were, but obviously not quite good enough, Sarah, to get the population fully behind it, because you would imagine if they were as good as you think they should have been, you would never have gone.
Yeah, you could say that about New York City too, can't you?
I knew you were going to go there.
Taking
Let's hope
hits
not.
at New York City.
I don't know. The new tenant, advocate wants to seize property.
They did like to drink a lot of whiskey. I think it was whiskey.
Dude,
but to your point,
CNBC
the oil
changing some
reserves
tunes
are, I mean,
here.
when you talk to people who know the area, who were familiar with the seismic readings and things of that nature, unparalleled in terms of what is potentially available. So, I mean, it's literally like another Saudi Arabia.
Even more than Saudi Arabia, if you look at the chart, which
now,
is
I mean, it is a heavier crude, but yeah. And so the opportunity is enormous, one would think.
It will be costly, right?
Yeah, to say the least.
Yeah.
The refining process is a bit more difficult. Not impossible, but guess what country has a bunch of heavy crude refineries?
Probably would be. And if you are one of the large companies, whether it be Chevron or Exxon or Gulf that once operated there as well, you do have to ask that question. Where would they be willing to start to think about really doing that?
Right.
Because that return is going to have to take place over the next 20 or 30 years.
Yeah. I mean, it's just, it is crazy, though, what happens when you put a bunch of politicians and political allies in charge of an oil industry sitting on top of that.
Yeah, they're not businessmen.
The highest
You're answering
oil
your own
reserves
question.
in the entire world. And how difficult it's going to be to climb back from that. Costly, human capital. I mean, the status of their facilities.
Yeah, the state of the infrastructure is supposed to be, in the words of some, again, I'm relying on one person who was there not long ago, appalling. Let's get back to the story around, of course, the former president, Maduro. He's scheduled to make his first appearance. That would be in federal court this morning, of course, less than a couple hours from now. Not far from here, in fact, a little bit north. Contessa Brewer is live on the scene. She has the latest for us. Contessa.
Hey there, David. Yeah, the countdown is on now to Nicolas Maduro's initial court appearance and expected arraignment scheduled for noon. Criminally charged, prosecutors say, for an immense drug trafficking and corruption scheme that made Maduro's power grab possible.
Wow.
We have seen now demonstrations unfolding across from the courthouse. You may be able to hear them unfolding now live. These are demonstrators who are protesting U.S. operations in Venezuela, making their
get a
perspective
fucking
known.
life.
But look, the Venezuelan president is facing conspiracy charges related to narco-terrorism and importing cocaine, as well as charges related to possessing machine guns and destructive devices. Maduro's wife, Celia, and his son are also facing similar charges, as is Venezuela's Minister of the Interior, Justice, and Peace, the former minister of the same department, and the alleged leader of TDA. That's a transnational criminal organization, which prosecutors say has a presence in New York and is involved in drug trafficking and human smuggling. Prosecutors say the Maduros and the others worked with FARC, which is one of the largest cocaine producers in the world.
FARC?
The ELN, a Colombian terrorism group. The Sinaloa cartel, based in Mexico, headed by the notorious El Chapo. And the Zetas, another transnational drug group based in Mexico.
A lot of trans
This
people
morning,
in the drug
we saw
business,
a
I
massive
suppose.
law enforcement presence outside the Brooklyn Detention Center, where Maduro is being held with his wife, or his wife is also being held there, I should say. The armored vehicle delivered him to the back entrance of this federal courthouse in Manhattan. And
back to break even. I'm long at 31.25. Stops in at 31.50. Another freebie play.
Saturday evening.
Maybe it runs. Maybe it doesn't.
That's about an hour north of New York City.
I don't know.
You're seeing some of the shots of him coming off of that jet. Today, Maduro's arraignment will happen before Judge Alvin Hellerstein.
I hope it just
the case
goes.
handled by the Southern District of New York, which began building these global cases against international
72
cartels
seems like an interesting
in the early
target.
2000s.
If I don't get tagged before that, but there's a lot of, a decent amount, not a lot, but a decent amount at 72.
Back to 2011, Carl.
Hellerstein's had that case for several years. Going to be very interesting today. Contessa, thank you. Contessa Brewer this morning. Let's talk a bit more about the global market impact of all of this. Joining us today is Ruchir Sharma,
once again,
Rockefeller International
a little
Chairman
bit of
and Breakout Capital founder. Ruchir, good to have you.
At 72.
Thanks for the time this morning. You heard our discussion about the challenges of foreign direct investment into Venezuela. Can you envision an environment in which that gets easier?
Who's this guy?
Well, it can. I think Sarah ran down all the points as to why Venezuela's become a basket case.
Getting a little boring, but I thought Maduro was going to be in court later this week. I didn't realize it was today, and it sounds like he's going to be there around lunchtime, around 12. So if you're particularly interested in that story, I'm sure there's going to be some breaking news around midday today as it relates to the former president of Venezuela, Maduro, going to be in front of his court. But I almost just got tagged out, actually. Let me zoom in on this a bit. I got really close to getting tagged out. Once again, it's a freebie play. I was a little bit...
filled.
Yeah, okay. Another freebie play. It just didn't go my way. It just didn't work. I was hoping, I'm being very aggressive about it just because we haven't really shown signs of comfortably holding 6,900. Every time we're getting above, I'm seeing selling in the options market. So people who were long all of these 6,900 calls are choosing to lock in their profits. And obviously, as you sell calls, you're removing positive delta. The market makers kind of re-hedge out their books. And then all of a sudden, you get a little bit of a hit. And just in case it gets too extreme, I don't want to get caught in the middle. So if it's a breakout runaway situation, I'm more than happy to play. I want to play it for free, which is why I'm being so aggressive of that stop movement. And remember, one of the beautiful things about futures trading is there's no pattern day trading. You could trade as much as you want. You could do as many break-even, riskless trades as you possibly want to do. There is no such thing as pattern day trading in the futures market, especially when you're talking about SIMDA-funded pattern day trading, which those aren't even hitting the market anyway. So there's definitely going to be no pattern day trading. Oh, where do I want to play this? I was in at 31. I'm trying to figure out how much room I want to get it because the vol's still pretty high. Stability is only 13%. So we're moving today, and it just took some sort of a hit, but we didn't really take out this last low at 16. I'm just thinking aloud, going through my process. I know sometimes it's psychologically difficult, but I'm more than willing to get stopped out for break even. Like more than willing, because it just didn't cost me anything. I took a shot, and even if you take 5 shots and 4 of them are break even, like I said, you only need 1 to actually work. And I think that's one of the best mindsets to have when doing this. What is our options flow looking like right now? Mag 7's taking off. SPY is starting to pop once again. What in the world are we doing here? We're really struggling at 6,900. Really struggling at 6,900. You could watch this downsloping trend line. So I'm interested in going long on NQ, which is the futures contract for the NASDAQ, but I just need to see if this is going to hold. We might be getting a bit of a bounce there. We might be.
Order filled.
All right.
Order submitted.
I'm attempting to see if I could get in. Obviously, I'm going to do the same aggressive risk management as I've been doing this whole time. I am interested in the long direction today because of the Mag 7. I'm seeing a lot of positive delta movement. SPY, even though it's not as clear, it's positive delta movement. From a technical perspective, I'm hoping that we shot above 6,900. I'm hoping we're holding this time. Maybe we do, maybe we don't, but a test. I'm looking for that trend line breakout. I front ran it a little bit, so I'm giving up accuracy in terms of that confirmation, but also I'm then taking on lower risks. That's what you get for front running. You're not going to be as sure, but then you're taking on lower risk because you're closer to your risk point. So that's a little bit of a trade-off. I do like that flow. That flow was positive. It's now flat. Bullish, 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 bullish. I like the flow. Like, I like it. It's just, is this time going to be the time? Like, you never know when you're going to get trending or not. You never, ever know. Come on. Come on, come on. Come on. Wow, that was a bit of a smack that we just had in the short term. We just popped to take that out, and then there's profit taking right away. Profit taking right away. We just took out 619.50 on QQQ. We just took out this high from 1010, and then right away you had some profit taking. Right away. Let's see what it turns into, though. Let's see. My fill right now is at 642. I'm roughly break even, technically slightly red. We're trading at 38 in real time. Well, now we're trading at 45. So I'm roughly break even right now. I could have had a better fill. Icarus did fire again at 35, so that would have saved me 7 points, which is $140. But if we get this breakout here, if we get this breakout, what was this high? This high is 55.75. So if we take out 56, I'm moving my stop to break even. I'm going for a freebie trade. I just need to be mindful of this. Those sellers that were at 72 are still there at 72. Oh, do I want to go right now? Do I want to make it a free trade right now? I'm surprised that we're not making a more aggressive attempt at this 72 area. Remember, this heat map, the darker it is, there's just more sitting orders there. Those are sitting passive orders. They might get filled. They might add to it. They might pull the order. They're just current pending orders, but there's no rule that they like have to stay there or something like that. We just made a somewhat decent attempt and then got smacked at 55. I'm watching these guys up here. I'm watching these guys. Come on. Take them out. Take them out. What's this bar's high? It's 56.50. So we poked above by a point, but the market didn't really like to accept that. So what is this high? This high, if you're trading NQ, is 70. Oh, okay. That makes sense. So why are the orders here, right here, selling? People are literally targeting the intraday high or the regular trading hours high, I should better say. And then some people are front running it. So why are they at 72? Why are they at 70? Because literally that's where we opened up to. All right. And this is my moment to go break even. Technically, I am front running Icarus, but I already went break even. Icarus would have preferred that I wait for that test to 72. Should I follow Icarus perfectly? When I deviate from Icarus, generally I don't like it, but the one time I will accept my manual trading deviating from Icarus is when I front run the risk management. That's the only time that I can say, okay, it's like kind of somewhat acceptable. But according to Icarus, if I were to follow my system perfectly, the stop would be moved to break even when we either test or at least get in the range of 70, 72. That would be like the perfect Icarus, or that would be perfectly following what Icarus prescribes. So I'm hoping that that happens anyway, and I just front ran it and it didn't matter. But we'll find out. We'll find out. So now there's some people coming in here. They're trying to sell at 70, 72. Yeah, people are targeting this. The reason I want to get my stop in beforehand is just in case we get up there. If there's enough people selling, and then if they do some market selling at that high, it could dip, and I just don't want to go red after being green on this trade. So that's my thought process. I'm not saying it's right or wrong. I'm just saying this is how I choose to manage my account. And in the game of trading, we're all making our own decisions at the end of the day. So no one's forcing you to buy or sell. I'm just letting you know personally how I'm handling it. Maybe you agree with that. Maybe you vehemently disagree. I'm just letting you know what I'm doing. But I am, they're starting to disappear a little bit. I'm slowly watching these orders. How's the options flow looking? How's the options flow is still looking strong. The Mag 7 options flow. Did I get a fill on any of these public? For people in the Discord, I'd be surprised if I didn't get on any of my swing positions. I didn't get a fill on any of my swing positions. What? This market is rigged. Yeah, I did not get a fill. So if you're in the Goonie Trading Discord, I still have all the positions that I had from last week. I still have all the exact same positions. One of the Google ones is very close to getting a fill. And the SPX position is close to getting a fill as well. But hey, it happens. So SPY is actually looking decent. It's picking up right here. If this breaks and holds, early this morning before the market opened, 6925 was the next major level, but I did see that some positions change. Okay, so we're running into a node of positive gamma starting at 6910 all the way up to 6925. So if you wanted to, you could cut that in half and maybe call it, I don't know, 69 like 18 or 20, but we are getting into a node of positive gamma. Remember, positive gamma is not bullish or bearish. It is sticky price action. And if I had to guess, yeah, it looks like there's actually a bit of a call credit spread going on between 25 and 30, and then another one between 35 and 45. So it appears maybe it's not a call credit spread, but it appears to be a call credit spread, and that's where we're starting to see this patch of positive gamma. So we have all this negative gamma beneath. Remember, that is slippery price action, and now we're finally getting into it, grinding there. So I'd be watching this 25, really honestly, 25 to 40, it seems like you got to watch. And that's exactly why I already had 25 marked out and 40 marked out. They were key positions we already saw this morning. And it looks as if I'm going to get tagged. It did get rejected.
Order
Shit.
filled.
Yep, I just got tagged at break even. We never made it up to that 72 level. So my third break even trade of the day, folks, I'm putting in the work. I'm making an attempt here. It is just not fucking breaking my way. We are just not getting enough of a trend. I should knock on wood. We're getting enough of a trend for me to at least move the stop to break even, like reasonably, but not enough of a trend for me to, I suppose, lock in those profits, which is a bit unfortunate, but I should not complain because, hey, I'd rather take a break-even trade than an actual losing trade. So let's see how this actually pans out here. Yeah, we just got a swath of selling between 10:22. Yeah, there was about 30 seconds of clear selling, and now it pops off again. How do I want to? That risk really is not that bad. What's the book map look like? What's the book map looking like? Those people are still at 72. Those people.
Order filled. Order submitted.
All right, we're taking another attempt at it. Let me know if this touches 64, because that's where I'm going to move the stop to break even, is if we take out the recent high. We're running into clear resistance, and think about it. Like mathematically, going long right below resistance means you're like very much betting on that successful breakout, which is by no means a guarantee, which is another note on why I'm being so aggressive with the stop management. I'm very comfortable in the bullish callouts, which is why I'm looking for bullish trades. And I do think we get this crack and a push at some point today. The issue is the timing of that push. And that's exactly what I'm like trying to do right now. Is I want to be able to ride that bullish trend, but I want to do it with the most minimal risk I can possibly find. And someone just came in with size. That should help me. Someone right there, I believe. How do I see the size? Volume, 125 contracts. This guy, I like that. Someone just brought 125 contracts at 660. Nice. Nice. We didn't crack 64 yet, but we're about to. Should I just move the stop to break even now? Come on, crack 64. Crack 64. Crack 64. I like that buyer coming in at 660.
Order filled.
Fuck. Out for break even fucking again. That's my 4th break even trade of the day. That someone just sold right there. Fuck me. All right. Out for break even again. Right there. Got in, got out. Same value. Dude, I am just getting ping-ponged around. Oh, I can't complain. I can't. It's frustrating having this many break-even trades. But you know what's worse than a break-even trade? Is a losing trade. So I still think this is the best risk management. Maybe you agree, maybe you disagree, but that's the beauty of it. If you think you have a better way to trade, no one is stopping you from trading your accounts.
Order filled. Order submitted.
Remember, there is no pattern day trading in futures, and especially in SIMDA-funded futures here. Come on. Take out 60. Take out 60. Let me see 60. Let me see 60. Do it. Let's go. Let's get real degenerate. Let's look at this 100-tick chart. I want to see 60. I want to see 60. Nope. Wrong way, brother. Oh, fuck. I was literally about to go to break even and it just vomited against me. That sucks. Come on, go back up. Don't do this to me. Don't do this to me. In reality, like obviously I don't want this to get hit in the red, but if it does, my stop is pretty close. Like I'm not going to be too upset about it. Of course, I never want any losing trade. I would love for every trade to be a fucking $10,000 winner. That would make my life far, far easier. But alas, that is not trading. All right, at least take out this high. At least take out 58. All right, we're going to move the risk up a little bit. All right, let's see. Are we finally going to take this dude out? Going to take him out. They're still there. This whole time, they're just chilling at 72, which is the regular trading hours high. All right, we're taking this guy out. We're taking him out on a date. We're taking him to a little bit of omakase. Come on. Let's take him out. We're going to do to this resistance what Trump did to Maduro. We're fucking taking him out. Here we go. There we go. We're learning a little bit about what fortunate son really means, you know? Boom. Stop break even. Another freebie trade. Now, to all the naysayers in the audience, you're probably going to be saying, but Matt, that's going to be your 5th break-even trade of the day. Yeah, fucking maybe. I don't know. Or maybe this is going to be my one. You know, all those examples when I was like, it doesn't matter if you trade 5 times and 4 are break-even because that 5th time is when you make all your money. Oddly enough, that might be coming to fruition. Oddly enough, that might be what this party is all about.
Order submitted.
We're going to find out. We're going to learn today. We're going to learn today. In the meantime, Piper just fired on that. So if you're in the Discord, let me do what I can to put Piper in there. Oh, dude, if I have 5 break-even trades today, it's just proof that this game is rigged. It's proof that this game is rigged. All right, Jan 5th. If you are in the Goonie Trading Discord, Piper just fired. And let's see if I personally want to take the Piper trade today. I need to do a little bit of an analysis here. Let me see. Do I want to take it? Do I want to do a slight variant of it? How do I really think this should go? All right. All right, if you are in the Discord, I'm doing everything in my power to fire this off and give it to you guys. I'm taking screenshots. I'm doing everything I'm supposed to do. Where's thick trades? All right, I'm sending it in. Taking a very aggressive Piper. SPX, put credit spread. Oh, I fucked it up. This one was spread by 5. Okay. Well, my first fuck up of the new year. I meant, if you're in the Discord, you can see my SPX play. I meant to have the wing 10 wide. It is only 5 wide, so that's a fuck up. God damn it. Oh, brother. Oh, brother. Why am I like this? Why am I like this? I'm my own worst enemy. My own worst enemy. Are you kidding? Oh, I just need to look in the mirror and realize that's the guy who's ruining my life. That is the guy. That is 100% the guy. Apple is not looking the best, folks. Nvidia is looking a bit better. Avago got hit this morning. That's interesting. Microsoft. What's weird is Microsoft is showing price weakness, but the options market, it's very, very heavy call skew. Like, someone out there is betting on a pretty large return on Microsoft. All right, back to my position. Let's go. Your boy needs to make $15,000 stat. Actually more, because I'm also trading these two. So 17,000. If this hits, if this little blue line hits, not only are you having a baby boy instead of having a baby girl, that's what the blue and the pink stands for. It also means that I'm making $17,000. A lot of people don't know that about NinjaTrader, but based on the color of your stop and of your profit, it is literally the difference between you having a baby boy and having a baby girl. So based on that, that means that in my life, I'll probably have 4 baby girls and maybe 1 baby boy. Maybe. I don't know. You never know. Look up the Forex reminders. Well, congrats. You just got banned from the channel for being a bot. Congrats, Mr. Bot. Go fuck yourself. Let's go. Dude, you know what this needs? Some tunes. Here we go. We need to play some music to really pump this market up. We just hit IB, got rejected a little bit. Or no, what time is it? All right, we're testing the IB, the initial bounce, the first 60 minutes of regular trading hour high and low. You can see I'm trying to get out at 98, which is basically a 50-point gain, which is about $1,000. All right, there are people trying to sell at 700. So I don't think I'm going to get front run by them. But you never know. Because those are just sitting orders. Of course, there's still such thing as market orders. It's been 3 months since I can see Discord on my phone. Changed the settings to a few age restricted on mobile, but still not allowing. Can anyone help? Just go to Google. Like, that's an Apple setting. It's not a it's like an Apple privacy setting. Go to the settings on the Discord web app on your computer and change the age restricted. But you're in the right area. Just change that. But like, literally go give it a, like, ask ChatGPT, go to Google. But once again, that is because of Apple. It is an Apple, like, age setting thing. I might move this. Do I want to move it to 65 and guarantee myself $300? Honestly, that's not a bad day. All right, this is guaranteeing at least some profit. Knowing my luck, I just put it at 60. Maybe I'll put it no, I'm gonna leave it. Fuck it. I was gonna make the joke, knowing my luck, it's gonna go to 59, bounce off of that, and then run right to 98, but we'll see. Come on. Well, fuck. Dude, this has not been a trending day at all. As much as I would argue it's very evidently bullish, it's just getting fucking smashed. Not an easy day. It's coming for me. I already called it out. We're gonna bottom at 59 and rip right up to 98. Dude, come on, turn. Why aren't people buying here? 66 was that low? Yeah, buy at 66. Pop it off at 66. Aren't people buying that sweep low? Isn't that what you're supposed to do? I was told people buy the sweep lows. I was promised it. Come on. This is getting uncomfortably close. But if it is what it is, if that's what the market gods deem of me today. Whoa, that was close. 61. Dude, is this going to be my lucky day? Is this going to be my lucky day, folks? No way. Are we going a point away and popping? Come on. Oh, market gods. Oh, market gods. Nope. Coming back down close. Bounce again. Bounce again. Do it again. Bounce it.
Order filled.
Shit. Nope. Instead, it's going to be exactly what I predicted of 59. And then it's going to go. But at least this time, we did lock in some decent money. At least this time, we did lock in some decent money. And honestly, where was I long? 47? If it dips to this level, I feel like then I made a good decision because I would have been knocked out for break even. But what's going on? Why is it not? No, not break even. This time I actually locked in money. I didn't want to be break even a 5th time in a row. But Mag 7, it popped, but it's going flat. SPY popped. It's losing a little bit of its way since 1034. Dude, what a song. All right, what can we do here? Is the trend changing? All right, the last low, 633. VWAP is 578. brother. So we as of now, I did lock in a couple $1,000, 200 by 17 accounts. So I locked in 3.4. I could call it here. I'm not. This is a potential breakdown. We were riding the EMAs. We popped. We got hit. Knocked me out. Maybe it's a little fake out. There is support here around 40, maybe 35 to 45. There is support, but it's getting hit. It's definitely getting hit. Technically, if I left my stop at break even, I would still be in the play, but I would be worse off than where I locked in. So let's see. Let's see what happens here. That's clear. Yeah, it started to get here at 10:35 this morning. Oh, brother. It almost hit 50, so maybe it was just going to that psychological level. All right, I'm wondering... what in the world is happening. Mag 7 is still flat in options flow. SPY took a little bit of a hit, curling back up. SPX is trying to hold 6909. Oh, brother. What's going on? Are we actually reversing this trend? What's happening? What's happening? Mag 7 is flat. SPY curling up a little. The 1 minute is bullish. The 1 minute is still bullish. 5 minute bullish, 10 minute bullish, 30 minute, 4 hour, all bullish, 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 bullish. The bulls are in control. It's just a game of risk management, folks. It's just a basic game of risk management. Let's go to the 5 minute here, 5 minute, 5 minute, 5 minute. All right, what's going on here? Are we okay? So they took these dudes out at 50. All right, I would have been knocked out for break even. So I guess in hindsight, and of course hindsight is 20/20, I did seemingly make the right decision by at least confirming some of that profit. So I can't complain too much. Oh, brother. It is not... The trend has evidently been up, but the whipsaw within the trend, like the little movements, has been such a range that like you're either just taking on large risk and you're just saying, fuck it, like I want it to go. But I'm kind of unwilling to do that. And oh, man. Frustrating. Especially because I think if I kept that very initial trade, I would have been out for 1,000. But at one point, I would have been down more than 1,000. So even though I would be done on the day with a lot of profit, remember, not all profits are made the same. If you make $1,000, it's very different than did you take $3,000 a heat? Did you take $2,000 a heat? Or did you take like $20 a heat and then it went in your favor? So not all profits are going to be built the same in terms of what it means in terms of your drawdown and your risk of ruin and that type of a thing. And of course, it's nice to have profit, but I am a devout believer that profits are going to follow good decision making. Very, very good decision making. And that's what I'm attempting to do more of, especially this year. attempting to do more decision making. And even though today hasn't necessarily gone how I want it, I can't complain. I made over $3,000 right there, 200 times 17 accounts, all funded. I can't complain. And obviously these like base hits definitely do add up. Not every day is built the same. Some days there's a lot of opportunity and it's relatively easy to identify and take advantage of. And then other days are a pain in the ass. And right now, it's a pain in the ass day. Goofy Matt and Mod Crew at Rumble muted me for nothing. Shank my head. Dude, I'm going to mute you again if you keep crying. Like, are you a grown man crying? Dude, you're probably not even muted. You're probably just too stupid to understand how to use a platform. And if you keep crying about it, you're going to get muted here literally just because you're annoying. Like, you're going to be banned on the concept of being a whiny little bitch. Just shut up. Chill. I'll look at your account later. Like, you really think crying about it is going to make me do what you want me to do? Like, what kind of grown man thinks that's, like, the ultimate thing of, like, if I cry enough, I'll get what I want? Dude, what has social media done to this world? Like, Jesus Christ. There's crybabies. There's no crying in the casino, and yet I'm seeing a bunch of crybabies here. Tesla's having a good day. Palantir's having a good day. Avago's getting hit though. Nvidia is getting hit, but it's still technically green on the day. Yes, I'm muted on Rumble. Great. Shut up. Dude, shut up. No, trust me, no one in here wants to hear you complaining. No one in here. What other songs do we have on Tendies and Tunes? Where's Kohrs on the Cob? I think today might be a good Kohrs on the Cob day. Where is old Kohrs on the Cob? New songs, hype, hip hop. I guess we don't have a built out country playlist, even though we have a bunch of Kohrs on the Cob. Rock. What's in the rock? These are all just playlists on Tendies and Tunes, by the way. Too long in the trade. Oh, this is going to get interesting for me and my schedule on the day. All right. Bullwhip, exit wounds, when a stock becomes an obsession, trading in the 90s. 90s grunge. That might be where we need to be at today. 90s grunge. All right, I'm wondering if this right here is just a higher low. I'm waiting. I'm patient. Let's see. People are still trying to sell at that 70 level. Nope, that got smacked real quick, that little pop. Are we switching trends? We got hit for a little bit there. You can see it a bit better. We don't need this anymore. We got hit. Maybe a double bottom trying to pick up. The question is, will this double bottom lead to a higher high, or is it going to be a lower high and then we end up cracking 906? Oh, brother. Oh, brother. Decisions. All right. So for those of you making decisions, the Mag 7 has been perfectly flat ever since 1020. The S&P 500 had a nice pop till 1034. Came down, kind of double bottom, picking up a little bit with respect to momentum. 5-minute, 10-minute, 30-minute, 4-hour bullish. 5-minute, 10-minute, 30-minute, 4-hour all bullish. The 4 hours actually trying to convert from bearish to bullish on both ES and NQ. And right now the ES has successfully done that. Interessante. So I would say that based on all the data we have, the bulls are in control. It's just a question of right now, can you take advantage of that? And will the trend persist? And obviously, can you take advantage of it? Well, that's up to you and your decision making. Do you place your entries where you have low risk? And then will it persist? Well, that's not in your control. Like, basically, will it persist is dependent on traders after you of are they going to keep aggressively buying, or will the trend switch? Remember, trends can switch at any moment in time for any reason. You don't know what other traders are going to be doing. So that's not in your control. Making money or losing money, not really in your control. What's in your control is good decision process, a good decision framework, a good decision mindset where you're basically saying, I'm going to be patient, I'm waiting for the setup, I'm waiting for minimal risk, I'm going to either be a trend following trader or a mean reverting trader, whatever type of trading you like to do, but good decisions, as in following your system time and time and time and time again, and not really deviating. That's where money's going to be made. That's where your money's going to be made. This is a little lackluster here on the Mag 7. I mean, instead of going up or down, I guess the third option that we're kind of experiencing right now is this boring grind to the side. What do we have going on? It's a little boring on the Mag 7. Even the SPY kind of going a little flat right now. Yeah, it's just not really waking up. All these little pops, we just got a 5-point pop and it just got smacked again. Like, look at this. We had a little bit of life right there. Went from 54 to 60, little 5-point pop. Nope, smacked. Overall, the momentum is still bullish. Look at the cloud. This is just the basic EMA cloud, but as of now, this isn't a definitive breakout. We got above it, it got smacked, and this is when I tell you guys, just because we trade above, that doesn't mean a breakout. It means a potential breakout. But right here, we broke, we had a couple minutes, nope, smacked right under, and guess where we returned to? Well, in this particular instance, we returned to the 50 EMA on the 1 minute, and right now we're going a bit sideways. Maybe it pops, maybe it doesn't. Oh, okay. There were clear buyers here at 40.38. Clear buyers right there. There's some sellers at 70. But we're just not. Things are slowing down real quick today. So I'm very happy with the premium selling that I did. Once again, that's in the Goonie Trading Discord. But let's see what's going on. Oh, I guess I really don't need to rush anything because I did already make money today, and obviously that's the major goal. That's the major goal, is being up, but I'm curious because if this is the one pullback that we're going to get on the day, this could just be the lower high here and then we pop off of it. Potential. I'm not saying it is or it isn't. Of course, on the flip side, we could just sweep all these lows at 619 and come back down to 617. Like, all of that's possible. There's a non-0% chance of that happening. I'm just trying to figure out if we do persist on this trend, the bullish trend, which has been pretty evident throughout the day from price structure, price momentum. It's just price itself is a little bit whippy. A little bit whippy. Man, now we're just sideways. Lack of trend, folks. I would love for the bull camp to wake up. I guess maybe they had a little bit too long of a holiday. All right. We're seeing a little bit of life right here. Is it going to hold? Yes? No? Dude, it pops. We're getting those pops, and then they're selling it right back. Look at that. Popped it? No. What's going on, folks? We can't hold anything. Butterfingers in here. Butterfingers. This price action can't hold shit. Everything's looping through the fingers. Some Butterfingers price action. That's what we're seeing today. Nothing's holding. Nothing's catching on. I suppose if you just arbitrarily went long at open, that trade worked, but I don't know how good of a system that it would actually be. I like that we're grinding up, but we are just... I guess that was a little bit of a fake out pop. I just arbitrarily didn't go long because I was a little late to it, but I'm now looking back in hindsight, happy I didn't, because I would already be close to be getting knocked out, and I'd probably be giving back all those gains that I actually made. Oh, I wonder if I should just call it. I wonder. I'm starting to get those vibes that maybe this is it for the day, and there's just not much more of an opportunity. Of course, like I could always come back this afternoon and just like wait and see what's going on then. But I'm just, it's not nice and trendy. It's just a little like, look how whippy this is. Whipped above, whipped below, whipped above, whipped below, whipped above. And then in here, I try to catch some of it, but some of these dips were a little just too aggressive and knocked me out. And even this right there, we sold off, it bounced. We sold off, higher low. We started to go again. Nope, smacked. And I very easily could have gotten caught in this. I would have seen this higher low right here. One low to the next low, higher low. We're breaking out. Bulls are in control. Nope, smacked. It's a whippy day, a whippy day. And now I'm starting to realize that maybe I'm just really stoked about these profits. Maybe the opportunity is this afternoon, but I'm just like, look at this. The EMA went bearish, and look how whippy this all is now. And even this, we popped up to just, it swept all of these lows except for the most extreme, but swept all of these lows in here just to then bounce 15 points. Like, oh, I think there is a solid play that's going to exist at some point today as SPX most likely trends up to 6925. It's just getting in this choppiness. You either have to get lucky with it or you have to be willing to take on more risk. And I'm not necessarily willing to take on more risk. I mean, it's pretty much price is now where I got out, but I don't mind that I got out there because that means I got to avoid all of this whippiness. Call it a day and go to Roadhouse. Honestly, it might be the best. I mean, I don't really have much to complain about. 3K locked in. I've had better days. I've had worse days, but hey, it's a green day. All green days add up, you know? It's a green day, but on top of that, what I'm more proud of, I feel like I've had really good decision making and risk management, and I think that's the important thing. Proof Gardens, shut up, dude. I'm a fan, dude. You're annoying as fuck. You're just a grown man who's crying. Stop crying. Like, Jesus. What was your New Year's resolution, just to whine all fucking day? Was it, you're like, dude, January hits, I'm just gonna complain about everything all the time because I can. Like, is that what's going on, dude? Just chill, man. Take a chill pill. Like, no one cares about a grown man crying. Even this, we popped again. Look at that. So we took out some of these lows and then we took out these highs. So we're getting a little microphone, a little expanding pattern in here, which in my book is the worst pattern to trade because you don't know who's really in control. The bulls got more aggressive, but the bears got more aggressive. And we're just whipping around this EMA. Yeah, so we took out the high. The IB. Yeah, I don't know if I could bring myself to do it. I took a shot. I made some money. It just did not pan out how I needed it to, unfortunately. Took a shot. Can't win them all, folks. And in reality, I just tied on 4 and made money on 1. But, whatever. Whatever. What I do want to do, though. What I do want to do What is this high? This high is 72.25. 65, 75. How deep is this? Got an alert on something. IONQ? I'm getting an alert on IONQ on the daily. Where is that one? I know some of you are trading it. What was the alert? IONQ, potential reversal, heading for that 50 EMA after getting hit pretty heavily. Open, Netflix. Netflix is getting hit. HUT is breaking out. Crypto mining. Coin showing a bit of life. Oklo showing a bit of life. CoreWeave, a little bit of life. Hood, a little bit of life. Amazon trying to get above that 50 EMA and really the cloud in general. SoFi is getting some nice movement. Iron is up 10% and it's getting above its cloud. That's an impressive move on Iron. Next target would be 49. Rigetti showing a little bit of life. Qubits also getting above its cloud. BITX going up with Bitcoin. MSTR showing a weird green bar that we don't rarely get with MicroStrategy. Oracle, nothing. DJT, decent green day. RUM getting slightly hit, down 15 cents, not much. AMD try to pop, getting hit ever since market open. Microsoft range bound, showing a little bit of weakness. Avago got rejected at the cloud. Nvidia getting above the cloud, a little bit of weakness today though. Apple may be breaking down. If anything, I'd be looking for the reversal above 271.50 for actually a bullish signal. Google just kind of chilling, not far from the all-time high. Meta looking decent. Palantir. Tesla bouncing right off the cloud. I like Tesla above 458.34, looking to take out Friday's high. That would actually be a very interesting signal to me. Bitcoin, maybe for the first time in a hot minute, actually breaking out, actually reversing. That's a big movement for Bitcoin. Hell yeah, dude. Showing some life finally. Finally on Bitcoin. The overall market flat, not doing anything. Same here. We just not moving, folks. It's just not moving. If it's not moving, you can't make it move. But folks, that is kind of where we're at. So thus far, the midday session, we had a somewhat of a decent bounce up until 10:30, and since then we've been going nowhere. My personal recommendation, and take this with a grain of salt, is basically, hey, just wait for something to actually move. Maybe wait for the afternoon, or maybe just nothing's going on today. Because remember, there is always going to be tomorrow, so you definitely don't need to rush it. So here is the plan. We are back to the normal schedule. In fact, the new and improved normal schedule where we're putting out even more content. So yes, that is it for today's stream. I want to let you know midday today, Maduro is going to apparently be in court. So you might want to pay attention to that. We'll have the update video later on today, and then we'll be streaming once again tomorrow morning. Don't forget, you can get 80% off the Spot Gamma, that options tracking tool, the analytics tool. It's pinned to the top of chat. It's in the description of the video. And today is, you have a day left with Apex to use that code Goonie to get 90% off, 90, as in you could take those evals for less than $20. So start your new year off on the right foot, go max that out, get your 20 accounts, and maybe, just maybe, you can get some of those God tier payouts. So like I said, pinned to the top of chat, in the description of the video, Spot Gamma. If you go to Apex or really any of these sim funded firms, use that code Goonie and you're going to get whatever the best deal is. Other than that, content coming out later today, streaming once again tomorrow. I'm going to go hang out in the Goonie Trading Discord. And in the meantime, my biggest recommendation is just wait for price to actually do something. Right now, we're just sideways and we're just not trending. Hey, it happens. So maybe, just maybe, there's going to be some more fireworks this afternoon. That's what I have for you. I appreciate all the good vibes. I'll catch you later on today. And once again, tomorrow morning, I hope you make a buttload of money. Catch you guys later. Peace.